Hello lovelies, Chrissy back with another Project Life page. So this is going to be week 3, but in all honesty, this is last year's week 3. Now I'm not up to week 3, I'm up to week 7, but I skipped week 3 for some weird reason. But anyway, I am really badly behind in last year's Project Life. I did not feel inspired by it for some reason. I couldn't get into it. I was very much happier with all my layouts. But anyway, I want to eventually get it done. But so I just thought I'd tell you, because when you look at the previous Project Life video, you're going to notice that some of the people in these photos look a little different. Like, say, my niece, for example. This was the week, I think, of her first birthday, whereas now, she's clearly 2 and has a little brother, so the photos are a little different. But anyway, enough about that. So I'm working on my title card. So the first thing I do when I start a Project Life page is I work out where my photos are going to go, and I put my cards in, my filler cards, my journal cards, all of that stuff. I don't do it as a double. I do one at a time, purely because I just don't have the room, and I work one side at a time. Normally when I do a title card, I do a big week and the number. I wanted to do something a little different this time, so I decided to just do week 3 in a little cluster down the bottom, using the bits and pieces from the cut apart sheet, which I love. And then because it was just missing a lot, I thought I'd do some little fishtail banners and just try and fill this in a little bit. I'm trying to get creative with my scrapping. I think that's why I got bored with Project Life. Everything just started to look the same. I was using the same formulas. It's just, I'm trying to get more creative with all of my scrapbooking, whether it be Project Life or 12 by 12 or even my mixed media layouts. I feel sometimes I get bored with how they all keep following the same formula, if that makes sense. So I just, every now and then I try and shake it up a bit, which is why I love challenges and sketches and things. So yeah, so in this case I've decided to try and do something different with my title card, and honestly I love it. I love how this turns out. My week is written on one of the little labels, so it's only really small, but I love how it turned out. It's very different, but it was a lot of fun. Now, when I go through the die cut pieces or the bits and pieces from the cut apart sheet, if I see things that I like and will fit for a certain photo, I'll pull them out and I'll put them on that photo. So I don't work one photo at a time. I'm a bit all over the place, very, very haphazard. If I see something I like, I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to put it on top of that photo, so I know I want to work with that. So I'm not going to move on to the next photo and work on just that photo and then move on to the next, to the next, to the next. If I see something I like, I'm going to pull it out. I aim to work on each photo individually, but sometimes I just see things and have ideas, and I jump all over the place. So now I'm going to work on this one. Now, what I love to do with photos that have a lot of empty space in them is to actually embellish on the photos in big sections. So this picture of the beach was perfect for this. It gave me all this area down the bottom where I could put a little cluster together. And this is only something that I've started to do recently, and I really love it. My favourite pen is one I got from Daiso, but it wasn't a permanent pen, so I was able to wipe that off my photo and get my good old Sharpie. This is a Sharpie pen, and these are permanent and they work perfectly. So just in case you're wondering why I wiped off a line. So now I'm going to jump around to the next picture. Like I said, I tend to find bits and pieces that I love when I'm going through looking for something else, and I think, oh, that'll work for this one, which is what happened with this one. I saw this love this die cut, which was perfect for this picture of Will, and these stars, oh, I love them. These stars are my favorite embellishment. They'd have to be, because I tend to scrap a lot of boy pictures. Stars tend to be my go-to for embellishments, so I was very excited when I saw all the stars. This picture down in the bottom right, this is a picture of Will using his library card for the first time, and I was able to, because there was again a lot of white space in that corner, I was able to attach a label and write that in. This is why I love photos that have a lot of empty spaces in certain parts. I can embellish straight on my photos, which I love. So obviously we all embellish on our photos, but what I'm saying is I can make like a big cluster or something, which is something I love. Instead of just focusing on a journaling card and putting it all in, or a filler card, I take a lot of photos. So trying to cut my project life down to give me the space to have a journaling card or a filler card doesn't really happen all the time. So I tend to journal straight onto my photos, and having space to do that or to add a cluster is something I try and aim to do, which is why I love photos when they have that negative space in a corner or down the bottom. I love being able to have that space, include my embellishing as part of my photo. So because I do have space for a journaling card, sometimes I will focus on one particular photo if there's a story that I wanted to tell, and I'll journal that on the card. Or like in this case, I will just do a quick overview of some of my photos. So in this case, I'm just writing how was the school holidays and just a few of the things we did. And you'll also see me do that again, I believe, in the other side because it's my dad's birthday and I was writing a bit more about that. But yeah, I tend to either focus on one picture or one event on my journaling card, or I'll just quickly do a quick overview of pretty much everything else. So this is the other side now. We're moving on to the right hand side of my layout. Now this was my niece and my dad's birthday. So my niece was the one on the 18th and my dad was 50 on the 19th. So we sort of had a weekend of getting together and whatnot. Now I have about 3 or 4 photos from my dad's birthday, and you'll see me rearrange these pictures so that they're sort of all in the same area. So they'll all be on the left hand side. Right now they're all over the place, but if I have a lot of photos from the one event, I'll tend to keep them in the same area, if that makes sense, so you can sort of see visually that they're all in the same space. So the 2 pictures at the top, we bought Dad some balloons, and we have 2 cars. We have a Subaru Forester, which is an SUV, has a big boot, and then hubby has a little 2-door Ford Fiesta. For some unknown reason, we took the Fiesta to pick up Dad's balloons, so we had to try and shove these balloons in this car. So that's what I was journaling about on my little strip up in the top corner. You will be able to see these photos better at the end. I'm still working on my camera setup at the moment. It's not quite right, so it's either chopping off a little bit of the top or the bottom, unfortunately. But I was just, I made a little cluster in the middle of this photo and wrote about our little adventure with the balloons. So then for my filler card, I found this one on the cut-apart sheet that came in with the papers, and I thought this would be perfect to put a big 50 on for my dad's 50th. Now this is another picture from this same day. We went to the beach and we played beach cricket. Now I used some of the puffy stickers, and again I'm making a cluster in the middle of the photo. Because I've got all that sand down there and all that negative space, I was able to do this straight on my photo and also add some journaling, and this is something I really enjoy doing. So as you can see now, I have moved these photos around. So the 2 pictures of the balloons, my dad with his cake, and the big 50 filler card, they are all in line on the left hand side, so you can see that they're all together. So I've specifically moved those, I've purposely moved those, so you can see that they're all from one event and your eye just leads down so you can tell that they're all together, if that makes sense. So then again, over here, I'm making another a journaling card, and this is my favorite way to journal on my journaling cards. I cut up little strips of paper and I glue them straight down, either straight on my photo or onto my journaling card. I prefer to do this. I like how it looks visually rather than drawing lines and writing straight on it. I don't know, it looks like an embellishment, if that makes sense as well. So all I did was I added a label down the bottom as well, as sort of like a little cluster on the bottom of my journaling card, and then just wrote that it was Dad's birthday and wrote about Dad's birthday. So this is my layout. I hope you have enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching. I'll be back real soon. Bye for now.